At our last council meeting, we discussed the varying perspectives of parking within the town center, and the discussion eventually focused on parking location. At which time it was discussed that staff would evaluate the possibility of converting an undeveloped lot behind the business district along Easy Street to a temporary parking lot. This slide illustrates that respective lot, which is 1/3 of an acre just to the east of the Carefree Galleria there. This is south of Cave Creek Road, and to the east side of that parcel is Carefree Drive, and just to the south is the alley behind the business district. Focusing in on the property, it slopes generally in a southwesterly direction and contains an assortment of native desert vegetation. For the most part, it's an undisturbed lot. There is some historical disturbance along the alley from parking during special events. When planning this lot for a parking lot, we need to take into consideration several factors that eventually affect the bottom line cost. First one is plant salvage. The standards apply to the town too. We have an ordinance that deals with salvaging plants, native plants, and certainly this represents that there's an assortment of native plants that would be required to be salvaged, which adds to the cost. We also have to evaluate from a functional perspective the viability of this investment. This lot is located behind the businesses itself. Access is limited to these businesses. A lot of these businesses don't have a front door or don't have business entrance off of the alley itself. We also have to evaluate the access, and given the irregular shape of this, probably the most viable access directly off of Cave Creek Road is in the middle of the parcel. You want to align that entrance exit off the alley as well too, so there's good cross-through traffic to service anybody parking there. The element that you have to evaluate, as I indicated earlier, the site drains in a southwesterly direction. That drains right towards the alley and existing businesses. You have to mitigate that by designing some swales and detention basins to minimize any off-site flow that will impact those businesses and the adjacent alley. Analyze and take into consideration is public safety, not just in the day, but also at night. Key liability is unlit parking lots at night and what can occur there. So we had to have some level of lighting introduced into any parking lot. Soon back, and I'm like, you know what? Right next door, just directly to the east, we have Town Hall Administrative Offices. Behind it, we have that vacant lot. One day that vacant lot will be expanded to absorb what we're sitting in right now, the council chambers, court offices, and additional storage space that we need. But there's plenty of space there to provide some additional parking. In addition, it's not in an alley behind the businesses, it's off to the side, and the only limiting factor right now is the access, which is where that blue arrow is. It's off to Sunshine. There's only one access there. What if we improve that access and we provide another driveway that aligns with that alley so it's more visible? People know the parking's there. Then we also have the sidewalks, as I call it, plumbed in there. There's the existing sidewalks and a crosswalk, and leads your way to the front door of the businesses along Easy Street. So now we have really a driveway to provide. The fall we're talking about, and DJ talked about the preventative maintenance plan, some millings of roads that will occur. We could take those millings and apply it to that parking lot and provide some better dust abatement and some better absorption from a drainage perspective, so we don't have those drainage issues too. Very minimal cost. In addition, we have lighting that already exists there. We also have an additional light over our Public Works Department that we can easily install over here at minimal cost as well too. So the only cost really is the cost to put the concrete work in the curb cut and concrete work for that driveway off of Carefree Drive. Now looking long term at this thing, it doesn't upset any vision. 10 years down the road when our lease is up here, if we choose, we can expand Town Hall by approximately 5,000 square feet. That's what that blue shade represents on the map. So we can absorb this space over here and do a multi-purpose room slash council chamber slash courtroom, add some additional offices to that building, and add additional storage capacity for our archives. And that would equate to approximately 5,000 square feet. The building that we're in is just over 4,000 square feet. That will still maintain 30 parking spaces at that location, and we can even have a drainage basin. That site drains in the southwesterly direction, developed there and a little park on the west side of our current building. Staff's recommending the use of the town hall parking lot, and basically in the next fiscal year providing a entry drive off of Carefree Drive. Probably be ballpark figure $1,000, $2,000 to provide that driveway. Add a light, we have that light over at Public Works, and then use the millings when that milling is done with those respective roads in the fall over that parking lot. Any additional parking, if the businesses desire that additional parking, have them agree to some type of private contract with Frank Andre, who owns that property, owns Carefree Galleria, to execute a private agreement. We'll work with them on the permits, and they can enhance that capacity.
The other thing I mentioned to council is, as you recall, the art fair basically goes around Sundial Circle. And it's now possible, if we would use this parking lot here, that we could post it during the art fairs when we close Easy Street, business access only. And during the evenings, allow the merchants who have big business during the evenings of the art fair to use our parking lot. They have access and lighted parking. People could walk down the Easy Street to get to their business.